to you and your mind. Do you got anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't gotta sit and plan, and I found out that I can execute if I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom. Read some books, something written, watch the best teacher system I invest. Never hidden, I ain't scared, ain't no chicken, I take this. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find no reason that you're living what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing. Yeah, visualize deep, play on, get a surface. And like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Visualize deep, play on, get a surface. And like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal. This is better than any drug you could ever think. If you know why you. Hey everyone. I hope all you guys are doing well. Let me see if I can make this somewhat okay. Let me get up and see if I can close the shades a little because it is a bit bright. So I just don't want it to be too intense for you guys. So just give me a couple of seconds and then I can try to turn it down a little and try not to knock it over. It's a little better. Okay. So welcome everybody, for those of you who are new. I tried to, get everything situated as far as like the OBS software. I thought I figured it out. I pretty much transferred all of the clips that I had, but still no luck as far as figuring out the software. So as you know, some of you can imagine, like some of you guys that aren't disabled obviously have a tough time. So imagine that times 1,000 when it comes to losing your vision. So that's where my frustration is at right now. But I hope you guys are doing well. I hope that it's an easy Sunday. It is All Hallows Eve, so it is obviously the start of Halloween. So it doesn't actually start tomorrow; it starts today, and it's basically the opened portal, I guess you could say, that the spirits are already here, and all that jazz. But I can't get into that because it's YouTube. So this is what we're gonna do. We are going to utilize the iPad like I did yesterday, or not yesterday, last time. So basically last week. And what I can do is just show you guys the clips in one way, shape, or fashion. But I wanted to give you guys basically an idea of how this is going to go. And so for this stream, we're going to do it that way. And then for the following stream, I'm going to, if it takes me 2 days to figure out the software for OBS,
And I know that a lot of you guys are like, why can't you just go back to StreamYard like how you were doing? If that's going to make it easier. But to be honest with you, when using the computer, I feel like the OBS is going to be the easiest, but it's all it is. It's just having to relearn certain things and stuff like that. So it's not that I can't do it. It's just I literally have to sit down and focus. So hopefully when I get my new computer, all of that will be uh, squared away, because with like any kind of MacBook or any kind of um, Apple product, they have it's like way more accessible, and it's way more easier for those of us that are disabled to go through it. You know what I'm saying? The software that they have for accessibility as far as disabled people on the PC is not the greatest. You have to literally download an entire other software, and you have to make sure that that software isn't going to crash your computer. And who the hell has time for that, especially if they are a content creator? So let's get into things, okay? For those of you who are new, I am Jojo, or if you are able to speak Spanish, I am Juana. And what I plan to do for the streams is just basically talk about different things, different topics. And if you are more so into drama, like more into bashing people, more into talking ish, if you're more into basically pretending like you know everything and trying to act tough, or if you are into things that of that nature where it basically turns into gossip, right? And that, I mean, this stream isn't going to be for you. Okay. I prefer to talk about things that are going to be basically relatable, basically something that people need to see, or maybe change a different perspective on. And I'm going to be doing my memberships pretty soon, for those of you who want to join. And then I also have a membership site that I am working with to utilize and do more for individuals who are wanting some type of mentorship, some type of motivation, some type of like more than what you're getting. Like if you're someone who is unmotivated right now, if you're someone who feels like you need more out of life, or if you feel like you need something to grasp, maybe you're losing hope, maybe you're frustrated with your life right now, maybe you're going through something and you don't know how to maneuver or spin that outlet. And for those of you who don't understand, you don't have to be a professional. I know that a lot of mental health professionals have given me crap in the past. They have given me a lot of hate and rhetoric that I'm an unprofessional. I shouldn't be doing this. My credentials are both. They are the experience that I've had with recovery and being recovered and beating illnesses, and then also not allowing that to affect me. Not only that, I am also uh, certified in my state as a peer support specialist, as well as a recovery peer support specialist, because I felt like I had to get that credential in order for people to take me seriously, because I didn't want to be like a coach. I didn't want to do it that way, because I differentiate different things. So for the membership site, you're going to get support groups. If you need certain criterias of the support group, you do not have to be in treatment, or you not have to be in therapy, but I am going to have to work with you closely if you are someone who isn't in treatment or isn't in therapy. I'm going to need a one-on-one with you to figure out what exactly your goals are, because I have to state that I am not a professional, because that is uh, wrong of me. You know what I'm saying? So because I'm not a professional, I'd rather people have somebody in line, or if you are someone that's not wanting to receive as far as like mental health goes, but more so motivation, then I have to work with you a little closely. Okay. So that's all, in the works. So be on the lookout for that. I will be posting, videos, and it'll be in my community tab as well, as far as upcoming things, upcoming, lives, and so on and so forth for that. And then as far as like the memberships, that's coming as well. It's going to take some time for me to, get everything down and get all the badges and stuff, and basically promote everything. So that's all coming. And for those of you who are new and don't realize, yes, I am deafblind. Yes, um, I have other disabilities, but I don't let that stop me. So if it seems like things are a little off compared to your average YouTuber, it's not. It's the fact that I have to do things differently compared to the norm. And I know that a lot of people hate that word, or they hate me insinuating that. But, it is what it is. And there's only so much I can do about that. And I know that a lot of you guys, like a lot of people are live right now, so it doesn't bother me that nobody's in here. I basically have to, I basically have to push myself into the algorithm. And I'm just glad that I'm able to do this at least once a week. I would love to do more, but there's only so much I can do. Um, let me see what I want to start with first, and then you can get into it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you guys before we get into the, spiel of the shenanigans and whatnot. Okay. All right. Now, before I click on this video, because it'll just automatically pop up. Before I get into the video, okay. So for those of you who don't realize what's going on, I would say it's been going on for the last 3 weeks, I believe, and this is going to continue. It's kind of just my opinion. It's kind of their agenda. Is kind of their push, as far as like the environmentalists, as far as like uh the world's going to be gone because of global warming. That was the scare tactic back in our day, and now it's climate change for this generation. Okay, so with that being said, I don't know if you guys have heard about these individuals that are activists, basically, that um, are destroying these 135-year-old masterpieces. Okay, this isn't paintings, this isn't artwork, these are masterpieces. These artists and these expressionists, these gifted individuals have basically been ahead of their time. Okay, these are 135 years old. These were made in like the 1800s. It is believed that Claude Monet, basically, uh, yeah, Claude Monet is basically his painting Le Moon. That's basically how you pronounce that. Was destroyed with liquid mashed potatoes in Germany. And then prior to that, that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the sunflowers painting of Vincent van Gogh. And for those of you who are thinking, oh my gosh, you're saying it wrong. No, go is how Americans say it. And then other countries say Gogh. And then in Dutch, because he is Dutch and he was born, obviously, from where he reside, he basically, that's how you pronounce it. That is the actual correct pronunciation. I can't even talk. Pronunciation is Vincent van Gogh. Okay, I just don't believe in uh, being disrespectful to other countries, to other languages, because me speaking multiple different languages, I can't stand when people are like, "This is America. You need to live this. You need to speak English." I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? whether I'm signing, whether I'm, reading and writing in Braille, whether I'm speaking in my other languages that I know. Like, I really don't care about your sensitivity because we live in America. You know what I mean? So I just believe in not disrespecting other cultures. Okay. So the the individual that basically destroyed the sunflowers painting said that it's behind the glass. There was no damages, which is BS, because if there was no damages, she wouldn't have gone to court to pay for certain damages. There is going to be damages to these paintings because regardless if it's behind a glass, regardless if they have like a protection on it, these old timeless paintings, it's a wear and tear on these, regardless if they're sitting up, regardless if they're on the wall for that many years. What ends up happening is the material starts decaying, the paint actually fades, the canvas might erode. It just really depends on the type of painting. It really depends on the upkeeping that these individuals and these museums and these places that need to upkeep it. Now, there are artists who can basically repair, renovate, basically upkeep it and make it like new. But at the end of the day, the painting that these artists painted back in the 1800s, specifically 18 between 18 I want to say between 1860, between that and then 1887. There is no exact date as far as the Claude Monet, and then the sunflowers painting that Van Gogh did in. He did it in France. He did that sunflowers painting in France. He was quite the traveler, and he basically wanted to do that painting. And like, let's be real, if we were to go back in time, right, and we were to watch them do these paintings, it is not the exact same painting that it is now. Regardless if you have upkept the repairs, regardless if you have kept the painting, regardless if you've cleaned the glass, you've cleaned the frame, you've done every detail you can, it's not going to be the same. These are 135 years old. Even houses eventually wear down after a while. You know what I'm saying? So the material is not going to be the same as when it was first painted. So I think people forget that. You know what I mean? Regardless if you guys want to claim that it's not a big deal. It's you know it's just it's basically it's for a lot of people it's just not a big deal. Uh, but I think people also do too need to remember is that there's a specific agenda behind this, and we need to be paying attention. I know that a lot of you guys don't want to become like conspiratorial. You guys don't want to. You guys want to act like nothing's going on, or we have nothing to prepare for, or we have nothing to worry about, right? Uh, we do. It just really depends on how you want to view it. Are you going to be someone who's going to put your head in the sand and ignore and just keep living recklessly, or are you going to be prepared when everything hits the fan? You know what I'm saying? I can't swear anymore. So I am going to play this.
no damage to the painting whatsoever.
Okay, so I basically summed everything up for you guys. And if these clips are gonna sound strange, they're gonna sound funny because I had to up the speed because I'm not getting in trouble. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting in trouble for recording these and showing this to you guys. Okay, so I just refuse to get a copyright claim. And for those of you who are like, oh, it's not a big deal, it is, because what ends up happening with the copyright claims is even if you don't have to delete the videos, even if you don't private it, even if you don't have it hidden or whatever, what ends up happening is you're pushed lower into the algorithm. You're not pushed higher because it's like they don't trust you, so why would they push you into the algorithm? It is what it is, you know. So I just think that it doesn't make any sense. Kind of like an oxymoron, because you want people to care about the environment, you want people to care about other people starving and not having any heat, and it's going to be a crazy winter for a lot of us. It's not just in the United States, it's going to be globally. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be intense for many of us. So I just think that it's a kind of it's disrespectful. It's insulting to these painters. You know, they've been long gone for many, many years, but still, why are we so obsessed with summoning spirits? Why are we so obsessed with being disrespectful to the dead? I've never understood that. Like, what is the obsession there? It's not just celebrities anymore. It's just anybody that thinks that there is no connection between the spiritual world and being on earth, you know, being a human in general. When it comes to human behavior, I honestly have never understood it, and it doesn't make any sense to me. But that's just me. So moving along. Okay, I saw a lot of people talk about this. A lot of people showed criticism. A lot of people showed. Okay, so Boogie's video basically saying that he's upset because he feels like YouTube is killing its streamers or killing its creators, right? Because they're making millions profiting off of basically people being picked on, people being called out, people. I mean, I just find it interesting that a lot of these big creators are basically turning into Karens because they aren't getting their way, they're not getting what they want. And I think Tipster hit the nail on the head when he said that if you can't handle criticism, if you can't handle being called out, if you can't handle people just being immature, people being trolls, people just basically messing with you, you shouldn't be on YouTube. You shouldn't be a content creator. You shouldn't be a streamer in general, right? And even though I haven't been monetized that long, I've been doing YouTube on and off for like, what, 7 years. Yeah. I've been doing YouTube on and off for 7 years. And mine was more so the instability of my mental health. That's what it wasn't. The remarks that people made. It wasn't I mean, I still get remarks. I still get, you shouldn't be a YouTuber, or you shouldn't be a content creator. You basically suck. You should KYS. Like, your illness isn't, K'ing you fast enough. I've heard it all. Okay, I've heard it all when it comes to women commenting. Yeah, these are women that are commenting on everything. Okay, it's like, you're pathetic. You don't know what you're doing. I can't pay attention to you. So on and so forth, right? I have not gotten one judgment from a male's perspective. I've gotten, like, as far as like men care more about like the logistic aspect. So like, obviously the poor quality of the videos, stuff like that. Obviously, men are going to be more into that, and women are just going to be trolling. Like, I consider that trolling. Like, if you feel the need to call me names, if you feel the need to tell me to end my life, or if you feel the need to tell me that my illness isn't killing me fast enough, then why are you a viewer at all? As far as like, I would hate to see what these women would say to other creators. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like I said, I've gotten everything, so I just roll my eyes because, like, do you feel better about yourself? You know what I'm saying? So I think with Boogie, I mean, I can kind of understand where he's coming from. That a lot of these YouTubers and influencers, however you want to place that, right? There's a bunch of titles for everybody, but regardless of the label, I think that people need to remember too is that a lot of people are pushing themselves to the limit. Like, a lot of people aren't taking breaks. They're not taking care of themselves mentally. They're not taking care of themselves physically. Um, you kind of have to balance it out. You kind of have to do everything at once, even while you're working on these. And as far as like being a content creator and a streamer, regardless of what platform you're using, you're working on your own time. So if you're doing this full time, you got to bust your ass. So you got to take accountability for editing, filming, the actual thinking and the thought process of brainstorming as far as the videos you want to put out, right? And then you got the time consumption, whether you're doing live streams, whether you're doing long form content, and then you're also doing shorts, and then you're doing live streams. It's a lot to take in, it's a lot to consider, and you basically have to break everything down as far as your schedule goes. Now, for those of us that are doing this full time, it takes a lot. I would say on average, I spend, I would say at least 5 to 6 hours a day, whether it's research, whether it's the editing portion, the clipping process, whether it's actually figuring out software, whether it's um, thumbnails, the artwork for this, the time consumption that it takes to make an intro, an outro, the time consumption. I mean, and you add the memberships, that takes time. Then you add, for me, the membership sites. That's another clip of your time. You basically have to figure out what your plan is ahead and then just go from there. So it does require a lot of your time if you're doing this full time. And I think a lot of people need to remember too is that you need to also take time for yourself. Like, I've seen a lot of people do it. A lot of people just take a mental health break, or they need a break. You know, it's a lot. And especially depending on the niche you're in, it can be overwhelming. So that's why I'm very, 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 very precise and picky as far as what I want to cover, because I'm not going to be like a lot of YouTubers that just grab from the headline and that's content, right? And obviously I'm going to fall underneath that because I'm not doing what's popular, so to speak, right? So with that being said, I think that I mean, he is like whining at the end of the day. He is complaining at the end of the day, but I also feel like he just genuinely feels bad for other creators, other YouTubers, other individuals that are in this field that aren't taken seriously. And I think a lot of people have gone through that. Like, you have people that, especially when it comes to men, I've noticed this, that they're, called a pedo, and then you got them saying that they're lazy, or they're cheating on their with their wives or their husbands, or they're fake, or like it's a mixture of everything, you know. So let me.
I have something I want to talk to you about. If it looks like I haven't been sleeping for the last 4 days, it's because I haven't. I've been at a convention, and I got some really disturbing information at the convention. Something that kind of sealed together something.
Hang on.
I've been experiencing for a long time, and I want to talk to you about it today. But the simple fact of it is YouTube profits from hate, and it's killing its creators. And content creators don't talk about this. I have, and it made things worse, so I understand why they don't talk about it. But I'm going to be their voice today. I want to talk about it, and I hope YouTube pays attention. There's always been hate on the internet, and at the beginning of the internet, we picked on Tron Kid, Numa Kid, Chris Chan. Let's just be honest. We picked on morbidly obese, disabled, and autistic people. That's what we did. It sucks, but that's what we did. Sometime around 2016, the internet shifted pretty deeply, though. We got these little pockets on Reddit, these little pockets of just disturbing hate that wasn't happy with the reality. They wasn't happy with the truth. They had to spread misinformation. And if you know anything about my channel, you know anything about me, you'll know I was one of the earliest victims of one of those misinformation campaigns. You, watching this, probably believe something that's not true about me. And it sucks. The people that hated me originally, they just hated me because I was fat. And if you go back and look at their original posts, that's all they talked about, how fat and gross and weird I was. And I would kill to get back to that kind of hate because it seems like a cakewalk compared to now. But those people did something really smart. They spent hundreds of man hours looking back at everything I'd ever posted on the internet, going all the way back to 1996 to look for things to use against me. And the way they used it was brilliant. If it was something actually bad, they held me accountable, right? And we all deserve to be held accountable. But sometimes when it wasn't enough, they would twist it, they would warp it, they would put it in a different context, they would tell you what it's supposed to mean, even though it's not what it actually means in that context. And by that, they convinced a lot of people of some really crazy shit. If you know me as a creator, as a friend, as a fan, you'll know it's so beyond reality, it's laughable. Boogie's never actually been mentally ill. Boogie could lose the weight if he wants to. Boogie is abusive to women. Boogie posts to TikTok to fuck children. You've heard this shit. Content creators have posted this shit over and over again on this platform. YouTube has profited from it. And when I speak out against it, large creators punch down to make fun of me for taking the fucking bait. YouTube profits when a small creator posts it. YouTube profits when I dare speak out against it. And YouTube profits when a large creator dunks on me for talking about it. They make millions. And there's a whole group of people they call lol cows that YouTube makes money off of their harassment of, right? Wings of Redemption, Darkside Phil. I mean, you know who I'm talking about. It's funny what those guys have in common, huh? Fat and autistic. The internet didn't change that much. If you've ever met me in real life, you'll know that I genuinely care about you. If you're a creator, if you're a fan, if you're a random person on the street, I'm going to ask you, how are you? And then I'm going to ask you, no, how are you really? And anybody that's talked to me, no, that's true. Because I like to help. I like to learn. I like to know what's going on. And if I can help you fix it, I will. And I have done that for dozens of content creators. You could look at the texts on my phone. If you could look at the phone calls of the people I've talked to, for every creator out there shitting on me, there's another creator who relies on me, and I'm a very lucky person to have their friendship. But the shit they tell me about makes me lose sleep at night. Every creator I have talked to is now being treated like I was back in 2017. They look through everything. They look for something they can hurt you with. They take it out of context, and when it's not enough, they make up new shit. And YouTube makes millions. I'm not going to name any specific names because I don't want them negatively associated with this video. And I know they wouldn't want me to say their name, but I got to speak for a while with one of my favorite creators, a creator I've watched for years, someone I've met several times. And when I met him before, he was one of the happiest, most upbeat people I've ever met. He was a joy to be around. But when I saw this creator at this convention, he was a broken person. He was shattered. He was sad and dour and miserable. And I was genuinely concerned for him. So I begged for 15 minutes of his time. And I got a hell of a lot more than that. And he told me stories that curdled my fucking blood. I had no clue it was that bad for this creator. So I went to my hotel room and I searched up their name. And I saw dozens of creators getting hundreds of thousands of views, spreading misinformation about this person. And YouTube is making millions off of it. And 90% of the things I saw in these videos about this creator were not true. I know this creator, but even if I didn't, some of it just doesn't logic out. If you use half of your brain, you'll be smart enough to know it's bullshit. And you know what? I think if you're smart enough to make a YouTube video, if you're smart enough to create something, if you're smart enough to know it's bullshit. But these creators don't care because they know if they talk about it, people will click on it. And when they click on it, they'll watch the advertisements and YouTube will pay them thousands of dollars to spread that bullshit. And this is affecting the entire YouTube community. I don't know who you watch on YouTube, but I promise you, at least one of the people you watch on YouTube has talked to me about this. I have texts to prove it. I have phone call logs to prove it, or I've talked to them about it at a convention. And they're afraid to talk about it publicly. And YouTube does shit about it when we talk about it privately. And I'm not a huge fan of censorship, honestly. But YouTube censors shit all the time, right? They censored misinformation about COVID. They censor misinformation about brands. They censor misinformation about politics. But when it comes to the creators, fuck them. Fuck them. I'm one of the few people lucky enough to have a contact at YouTube. And you know what? My partner there is one of the...
Hopefully, I won't get, demonetized for that. But you guys get the idea that he is genuinely frustrated and he feels like it is career ending. I can't use the S word. He feels like it is career ending if he posts this video, but I feel like if enough people, it's like if these creators feel wholeheartedly this way, I think if enough people actually come out to YouTube and push this for YouTube, then eventually they're going to get their way, because we had that whole YouTube challenge where a lot of the white creators and YouTubers of the higher rankings when it comes to gamers, basically testing out, does YouTube favor like a white individual compared to a black or a Hispanic, right? So that's why they did that challenge, and enough people were pissed off, and enough people were basically loud enough to have YouTube say, okay, we need to do something before we lose creators, or it makes us a bad reputation. So just like these big techs don't want you to basically, I mean, it is what it is, but just like the big techs, I should say, don't want to have a bad reputation, a lot of these YouTubers that have busted their ass feel like it's the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's generally the same way. You not only do you not want to lose your fans, you don't want to lose what you've worked so hard to build up for it, and everything that comes along with that. At the end of the day, you just genuinely don't want to look a certain light, right? Even though you know it's fake, even though the people that follow you know it's fake, it's just that lingering feeling, I guess. I mean, I've always been one of those people that just really doesn't care what other people think, regardless, because honestly, my life is short enough, and why bother? You know what I'm saying? But that's just where I'm coming from. But not everybody's going to be like that. You know what I'm saying? But I hope that he is able to get what he needs, regardless if YouTube is listening or not. Regardless if I mean, it is what it is. To be honest with you, a lot of people feel like he, as he said, he fell for the bait. You know what I'm saying? But if this is how he generally feels, it is what it is. I know that a lot of people are wanting so many of us to comment on the Ye situation, and there's only so much that can be said. And I find it interesting that even the people that aren't in the partnership program of YouTube, who talk big and bad and talk their ish and say, oh, well, I'm not enslaved by big tech, right? And I can talk about whatever I want. But then they private their videos when it comes to this whole Ye situation. I just find that classy, like you want to talk your ish and like you're big and bad, but then you still private or delete your video after you posted it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. to, like, if you're gonna, you know, act like you're above everybody else because you're not a part of the partnership program, but then you want to basically silence yourself. Like, either way, you silence yourself. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are being picky and choose those that are, you know, actual legit YouTubers. Those individuals are being picky and choosy about what they talk about because clearly there's a lot of things you can't say. And let's be real, Ye has been going off the walls for many, many years. That's all I'm gonna say. But I was gonna do a piece on him, but to me, it's like, do I really want to? Like, what am I gonna say that everybody else isn't saying? Do you see what I'm like? Like, it's just, I don't see the point in it. But I thought it interesting that Keemstar had this situation going, and I hate to say it, but it's really because he talked about the whole Ye situation. So check this out. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Hang on. I thought I had it, but I didn't. Okay, no, I did.
No.
Oh God.
Oh no.
What is
Team, let's just
happening?
go to the bar together. Let's just talk at the bar right now. Dude, keep it off for a minute. Keep it off. I mean, this will be cute. This will be cute. Look, we can have one ear on the headphone and we can talk into that mic together. How about that? Here.
Amazing.
So the story is that Brantley, you want to turn these lights on? This is so fucking dumb. Like, why the fuck did these lights go out? Like, what the fuck? Hey, everybody. Live 45 minutes. This is not good.
Literally a disaster.
Keem, what is okay? Come here, Keem. We can do the show together from Cheers. This is your drink. This is Cheers. I'm Roseanne. I'm about to say some slurs. Here you go. This is the Keemstar Show, everybody. Put this on. Let's get drunk. Brantley, we need shots down your right. Definitely could take Yusi to Chick-fil-A. That is true. That's honestly, like, imagine the powerhouse.
You gotta
Chick-fil-A
love
now
their
gets
laughs.
into like record sales and like shoes and like clothing because it's the only company that is run by a Christian.
You know,
He's nowhere to go but Chick-fil-A.
dude, I know there is probably one Jewish like organization that would take Yeezy.
What's that?
Teddy Steals or Teddy Fresh.
Teddy Fresh. Yeah.
Actually, Teddy Steals. We would take Yeezy.
We would, but we're not. Well, I'm Jewish.
No,
I am Jewish.
We can't take Yeezy.
Cheers, everybody. The Keemstar Show. This is not boring. This is not. Okay. We're in the shot here. Come over here.
We are in the shot.
Chris, any update with the camp? Look how Chris is like sitting at the desk. Chris is sitting at the desk like this.
Chris, we live in such a weird time where there is no forgiveness or understanding.
Man.
I disagree with Kanye West's statements, but me disagreeing doesn't turn to I hate Kanye and I hope he loses everything. But that is the vibe in 2022.
Did you steal this tweet?
2022. It's nonstop witch hunts. Now, because I tweeted, all right, right there. We got canceled on.
We did. We got canceled.
We had set up for our Halloween show
big time
to go to a haunted house. And I'm not going to say which one because we don't want any hate sent to the
because we're not hateful people.
We're not hateful. We set this up weeks in advance. All right. They send an email to fucking Chris and they say something along the lines of, due to Keemstar's comments on recent events, we do not want him in our haunted house.
Cancellation.
Your values do not align with our company's values, and we do not wish to have Keemstar represent our brand.
So we asked them, yeah, what was it? And I'm thinking to myself, it's the Alex thing.
Could be 50 different things.
It could be
Seriously.
anything, right? Like I've said horrible.
It could be 100 things.
It could. I mean, it could.
And
right?
rightfully so.
So I'm trying to think of recent. What did I do? Like Chris is like, was it the Amaranth thing?
We support Amaranth and we disagree.
Ladies and gentlemen, what it was, the lady was Jewish. So there was a sense that the lady was Jewish.
Well, you can't
so it was
insult
sense-
people.
That's what I was thinking.
And here's the thing. Let's give some forgiveness and some understanding, like I said in my tweet, to the lady that kicked us from the haunted house.
Yeah.
All right. She's Jewish. The comments that Kanye made probably hurt her personally.
Well, yeah.
And rightfully so.
Personally.
And rightfully so.
So when she saw me, let's forgive Kanye or let's have some understanding of Kanye, even though we disagree, she probably took personal offense to that and was
Right.
like, well, fuck you, Keemstar. You're not coming to my haunted house. And you
Basically.
understand that because of her past. And that just proves of how much Keemstar is growing emotionally. I just thought that was insane. Out of all the things I've said and done,
It's actually
that are
not.
controversial,
Like, if you think
that
about it,
was
it's
the
not.
thing that got me banned
It's
from a
not
haunted house.
insane.
There's 200 more.
There's Kanye got Keem canceled from a haunted house.
I'm glad that even though I had to speed it up, that it didn't ruin Kristen Ark's laugh. Very, very, very infectious. But like, I don't know why people are surprised. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the, like, it wasn't just Keemstar. Like, a lot of this happened to a lot of creators. Like, you have to be careful because you don't know. Like, as far as like CEOs, as far as like other companies, other businesses, other corporations, you really don't know who your employers are. You don't know everybody's story. You don't know, so you don't know who your. It's not. It's. I know that a lot of people feel like it's an offended thing. Like these individuals, this community is offended. It's more than that. They're insulted. When you insult someone's sensibility, you're screwed on all aspects because you don't know who's the next. Depending on the community, you don't know the next person that you need something from. I'm like, let's be real. He wanted to use this haunted house, and you got to take account for that. You know, it's not just this community alone. It's, I mean, it's just a lot. You know what I mean? But I honestly believe that his camera was overheating and his, like, a lot of things were happening because he was talking about that situation, especially the way they were talking about it. But I had to clip that. I mean, if you guys, like any of the people that I like, as far as like the creators, as like anybody that I mention, I am going to, like I did last time, I will put it in the comments, and I will probably add them in the description. I'm pretty sure that that's okay, even though it really just depends. I think YouTube is more so against people bashing each other. That's why they don't recommend you adding these creators, because if you're more so into bashing people and you're more so into insulting people, you're more so into being ignorant AF. That's really what the TOS is against. So I'm just giving you my input. You know what I'm saying? That's really all I'm doing. Um, so we'll see how that goes once the live is over. And I think another thing too is that a lot of people, after this whole ordeal happened, I don't think the video is up. I think it's for members only if you're a Keemstar fan. But Chris is their newest producer, and he quit his job to work for them, and he's been messing up left and right. And a lot of people feel like he should be fired or he should be let go if it's that bad, or if it's too much pressure for him to not make mistakes. But if you're just starting out with being a content creator, if you're just starting out with all, like, he's freshly new. Like, he's only been starting his channel for like the last several months. I would say like 2 months in. That's a lot. Especially if you quit your job and you come into this blindly. It's a lot to take in. But a lot of people were saying that Keem was abusive to Kristen Ark and basically humiliating him on camera when they went live because of a little mishap that something happened with the camera, and basically he didn't delete all the old videos as far as formatting an SD card on, you know, an expensive camera, and a lot of the old videos didn't work, and he didn't delete all of that space. Like they only had like 10 minutes of footage because it's not a lot of time to record something, especially if your storage is backed up on all kinds of things that you don't even need. You know what I'm saying? So he made a mistake on a lot of things. And I kind of understand where Keem is coming from, like as far as like the perfectionism goes. He wants everything to be perfect. He wants everything to be his way. He's very type A, very controlling from that aspect. Because if it's not done right, why do it at all, right? It's just a type A personality. I mean, I used to be into that. I was like that, where I was a perfectionist to the point where it's hurting others. Like, let's be real. It's going to be frustrating on Chris's part, and you can tell that he gets upset by it. You can tell he feels away. He might not admit it, but he does feel away. Like, I can tell he gets really sad when he's going off on him, or I can tell he's sad when he's confronted by it. I can really tell, like, just by the tone of his voice. He's just like, he doesn't know what to say. Like, he's apologized 1,000 times. He doesn't really know how to handle that. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know what to say. And I found it pretty cool that a lot of these other creators and these other streamers were just backing him up and saying, you know, he's trying, he's doing the best he can, he's new at this. Give the guys a break, cut the guy some slack. And that's when Keem just totally lost it, and he's drunk and high. Like, what do you expect someone to do that's drunk and high? You're not going to argue with someone that's drunk and high because you're not going to get anywhere. But these people were, I mean, I hate to say it, stupidly enough, willing to argue with him. You're not going to get your point across, because at the end of the day, it's Keem's show. At the end of the day, Keem's going to do things the way he wants to do it, regardless if you want to argue with him, just for the sake of arguing for content. You know, it is what it is. But a lot of people feel like, you know, he's abusive, Chris needs to leave, blah, blah, blah. But let's be real. If he's being so abusive and he's berating him and Chris stays, he likes it. Like, he obviously enjoys the pay, enjoys the money, enjoys, maybe that's a motivator for him. Some people, like, let's be real, some people enjoy tough love. Some people enjoy, like, for certain people, that is a motivator, to be berated like that, to be humiliated like that. I've seen bosses do it, like, and like the many different jobs that I've had that were like a 9 to 5 that I was able to get from an employer because they see the disability and like, nah, we're not gonna work with you, you know. But I've seen it happen where the boss is just so horrible to these employers, you know what I mean? And they're so horrible to the employees, and a lot of people quit, or a lot of people just they can't deal with it. You know what I mean? They can't handle confrontation, they can't handle self-love, they can't handle just being berated and stuff like that. So a lot of people do quit when it comes to that. So I understand from that standpoint, like, if you're someone who has worked 9 to 5 and you've gone through that, that might have been a trigger for some people. You know, that really, I could tell that it really was a trigger for some people that have worked, you know, blue collar and 9 to 5s and done corporate and have dealt with a pretty messy boss like that, you know. But that's just how he does things, and that's how he runs his company. So let me get into things. If it's a little loud in the background, I apologize. That I can't really fix or anything. Now, the next topic I want to get into is for individuals with eating disorders. If this is something that you're not interested in, you can, you know, always come back, or you can always just leave me in the background, I guess. But I think that there's a lot of ignorance and there's a lot of stigma that the eating disorders only affect women and young girls, but it also affects men, and it is more prominent in the straight male community rather than it is the gay community. That is a huge myth that it's a lot of gay men that deal with and struggle with eating disorders. It is actually straight men. So I know that might be a shock to some of you men, but it's true. Let me just play the videos and the clips, and then we'll get into it.
disorder treatment. This program is currently the only inpatient care option in the state of Iowa. In a statement to the Daily Iowan, UIHC said that their reasoning is to redistribute resources for acute mental health needs. They also explained that current patients in the program will continue receiving care, but they will be no longer taking on new patients. There have been mixed emotions and reactions to this change.
I think it's a good idea to add with inpatient. I think replacing it, I don't know, feels weird.
I'm disappointed, but I know it's a hard decision and there's many needs that need to be served.
Putting out something to get something else, but I don't think they should cut that out. I feel like it's important.
Graphics and even a petition have been circling around social media calling to save the eating disorder program. This has been bringing attention to eating disorders and the changes UIHC are making. April Bannister is currently in the inpatient program and posted on Instagram sharing her reaction to the news and her experience in the program.
It's not a bad thing to make more mental health beds, of course, but the way to do that is not by taking away the only eating disorder beds in the state. A year and a half ago, if I hadn't had this program, I would have been dead 7 times over.
Eating disorders are a common occurrence, especially on a college campus.
I'll have so much going on, like things just pass people's minds, and next thing you know, it becomes like a habit more than anything.
UIHC will continue to have other services for eating disorder care available. University of Iowa Student Wellness also has resources for students.
There's a lot of good guidance for anyone with an eating disorder or other mental health disorders for students here at the university, and those are free services, so we honestly start here.
UIHC also said how it was a tough decision and it was not made lightly.
So I think there's still options. It's not going to be as convenient, for students because this patient program is right here, but having an eating disorder in general is not convenient. So.
From the University of Iowa Hospital and Clinic's Ashley Wheel, DITV.
Because I was such low health. So they got me to a good enough point about a year and a half ago that I could transfer, because I was lucky to have good insurance, to a facility that could take me out of state, halfway across the country. That got me really good treatment. But there are plenty of times where I wasn't able to get other treatment because of my insurance, that they kept me alive. And yes, their program definitely had flaws and was definitely not good. Like, there's definite improvement. But no treatment is not an option. Any treatment is better than no treatment. Like, as one of my friends said who I met in treatment, like, she isn't able to go out of state. She's on state insurance and can't afford to go out of state. Like, her insurance won't let her. She can't afford to go out. So that program is the only program keeping her alive because of her. They're the only ones that'll take that she can go to. And so when that treatment center gets done, she's gonna have nowhere to turn. And a lot of people will probably die from it. And that's so sad. I'm going to leave a link in the description of I don't even know what you want to call it. A petition is the word. A petition that I am going to have for people to people have started, so that people can sign to say, we need to stop this. This needs to stay open. This treatment center needs to stay open. So I will link that petition below. I've already signed along with other people. I think it was almost 100 that have signed when I signed. So please sign it, share it, reach out. Please, please, please. There are so many people in the state of Iowa that need this treatment center to stay open because they need treatment just in general to save their life and keep them alive. So please, please, like I said, yes, there's many flaws with the program, but there are many flaws with everything. That's part of being human. That's part of things being ran by humans. There are flaws. But like I said before, any treatment is better than no treatment, no matter the amount of flaws. So please, sign the petition, reach out. And for those of you who need help, you're struggling, reach out. We are all here for you. So many people are suffering from eating disorders that suffer in silence and don't get help. Please reach out if you need help. Please, please, please put yourself and your mental health first. You are strong. You are beautiful. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Love you all.
With inpatient eating disorders program is no longer taking new patients. It's the only inpatient eating disorder program in our state. KCCI's Amanda Rooker shows us the reason for the change and why some Iowans worry the impact could be deadly. Amanda?
James, a spokesperson for the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics, says starting this fall, they're reallocating resources to serve the greatest number of Iowans with mental health care needs. But some former patients told me these changes are dangerous.
And without that treatment facility, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Lexi Olgren says it was treatment at the University of Iowa's eating disorders program that saved her life. But parts of that treatment are no longer available.
Okay, so you guys get the idea, right? You guys get the gist. I put basically I put the news that reported on this in Iowa, and then I put Libby Fisher, which hang on. I put Libby Fisher, and I will again link her video and her channel in the description. But I wanted to give like different avenues and different perspectives. But I also want people to understand when it comes to this disease, when it comes to this illness, you can't expect to be saved when it comes to this illness. You can't expect to be babied. You can't expect any of that. Because as much as people want to, like, I've heard so many people, individuals, I know a lot of people that are in the eating disorder community and who still endure and still struggle, right? Who still refuse to get better and will continue to stay sick. And what do I mean by that? So to a lot of individuals that have eating disorders, they want to be babied. They want to be coddled. They want to say that it's a horrible disease, right? And they have that entitlement that you can't get better. It's something that you will never get over, right? That's any disease, that's any illness. So I don't want to buy that BS that you can't get better. Okay? I don't want to hear it because I have battled with many eating disorders that basically turned into one after the other. For 20 years, I battled this disease. I beat it. And I don't want to hear people with the comments and the snarky remarks of, oh, you're lying. No, you choose to stay in your illness. You choose not to recover. You choose not to get treatment. It's just, I'm going to give you the, like, if you're someone who is an addict, whether you're a drug addict or you're an alcoholic, I'm going to give you the same speech. You didn't choose to get this illness, but you're also choosing not to recover. You're choosing that. You can get better. You just don't want to do the work. I have seen individuals die from this, from refusing their feeding treatments. It's so bad that they have a permanent tube in their stomach and they stopped eating on purpose. That is a very small percentage. So for individuals to say that they will die if they don't seek treatment, there is an extremely small percentage. That is a myth. The individuals that do pass on from this illness, it is actually from seeking treatment. Believe that or not. It is actually from your body going into shock with the refeeding syndrome and then going back to starving yourself. It's no different than when you're a drug addict and alcoholic, where you go to treatment for whether it's a month, 3 months, 6 months. If you have that kind of money, then you go back to your environment and then you binge. You're going to die from that. It's a shock to your body. Okay. Same thing with refeeding yourself. You have starved yourself for so long. You have deprived your body for so long that your body is just like, I don't know what this is. It happens. And 1 in 4 individuals die just by seeking recovery, just by seeking treatment, whether it's their first time in treatment or it's their 50th. There's also a thing that I always bring up that a lot of individuals with eating disorders refuse to talk about. There is a competition when it comes to recovery. When I went into the only eating disorder unit that I went into, and it was a hospital, even though it was a unit, it's still a hospital. It wasn't like this extravagant, eating disorder treatments that are in that do exist in Illinois that are like these. They look like a freaking 5-star resort if you're lucky enough to get into those places. But also, a lot of these individuals that have gone through these places in Illinois and now are living in Iowa, and they're still throwing that opportunity away. They're still not getting better. They're still not feeding themselves. They're still depriving themselves because they feel like the eating disorder is a security blanket. They feel like the food is the actual problem. It is not. It is the symptom. It is. It's completely the symptom. And I know that a lot of individuals want to say, well, I have PTSD, I have trauma, so I can't get better. You're still choosing not to get better. You're still choosing it. You would rather have heart failures. You would rather be deficient in all of your nutrients because, God forbid, you pick up a fork. God forbid you eat something. I always tell individuals to start slow. You have to start slow. If it's a couple of bites, so be it. Eventually, you work your way up. You have to find a reason to live. I know it's hard. I know that a lot of individuals feel like there's no point in getting better. There's no point in living. My life is too hard. Think about that for 1 second. If you are one of these individuals that's saying that, flip the script. I'm losing my vision and hearing. I was born deafblind, but I'm actually in the process of losing my vision and hearing. I am fatally ill. So if I overdo it on cleaning, the daily skills that or daily things that most people do, I will have a heart failure. I've had constant heart failures for the last month. I'm still here, still talking to you, still giving you guys a pep talk. I have overcome addiction. I have overcome severe trauma. I have overcome so many things. Okay? So don't tell me that life is hard. It's hard for everybody, regardless of where your walk of life is. Regardless of where your walk of life is, it is hard for everybody. Okay? So if you are one of these individuals that chooses the victim mentality, okay? Whatever you want to call it, the victim martyr mentality. If you are one of these individuals that is choosing that, if I'm able to get better and find a reason to keep going, even though I don't know how long I have left, why can't you? And I know that a lot of individuals are like, oh, well, that's too harsh, blah, blah, blah. If you want to be babied and coddled, you might as well let your illness take you. Because eventually you're gonna have to, something has to give. You can't rely on people to save you. You have to save yourself. You have no choice. Or your alternative is death. And I know that a lot of you individuals don't actually want that. You don't. That is your illness talking. That is your inner demon talking. Okay? It's not even you. There has to come to a point where individuals that struggle with any type of mental issue, any type of trauma, any type of stressor, has to come to a point where enough is enough. It has to come to what there's got to be some type of motivation, something in you to get it together. Okay? You have to. I wanted to emphasize on this because I will be starting support groups through Zoom and through my live stream for my membership site, because I want to get people to start talking about this. We need to start somewhere. And I know for a lot of you guys that are like, well, I don't know if I can, or I don't know if I can trust you. That's okay. But I need people to start somewhere. We need to start somewhere. I'm getting really, really sick and tired of, I can't do it. I'm getting really sick and tired of, It's not possible. That's getting old. It is. It's getting old. And as many people as I has helped, especially when it comes to eating disorders specifically, you choosing to stay sick, it's not going to last long. This is a choice between life and death. That's what you're battling with. And if you think you're going to win, you will lose horribly. And then what does that do to your loved ones? What does that do to your parents? And if you are a parent that's hurting yourself, what do you think that does to your child? That's not fair to the people that love you. It's really not. Okay? So I hope you guys can hear that. I think that is, I believe that's the last thing I wanted to touch on, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no. Never mind. I thought it was done. There is one more video, and then there's something like a different type of segment that I want to do for you guys before I take off. Mulvayne. Okay, so a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, well, you're biased because you've dated transsexuals, you've dated transgenders, so you're biased. Your opinion doesn't matter, right? You don't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter. It's bullshit, right? Because you're going to side with the trans agenda. You're going to side with what they're trying to do to our kids, or what they're trying to do to us as women. They're trying to kill us out as women. They're trying to cancel us out as women, right? I'm going to be real with you guys, and I know that the feminists and I know that a lot of you guys are going to be raising pitchforks, but I'm going to be all honesty. If the women race gets eliminated, it's not because of the trans individuals. It's because of women in general. Like, let's be real. Women hate women. Okay. I just explained that at the beginning of the damn video. Okay. But it would be our faults, not theirs. Okay. The reason I say this is because, I mean, I would have to look at the percentage. But look at all of the women that don't value themselves. Sex workers, the adult film industry, the women that don't take care of their kid. They'd rather sell their kid to get their drugs or ignore their kid for fame and BS on YouTube or streaming, whatever. Okay? Look at all the things that women are doing. And for those of you who are like, I can't believe you're against sex work. I can't believe, I look at the bigger picture. As someone, I was sex trafficked as a child from the ages of 9 until I was 13. Okay? I was trafficked. So I'm not going to buy into the horse shit of women need to be liberated sexually. Women need to not be ashamed. I'm not buying into it. Because if you look at the deeper meaning of OnlyFans, you look at the deeper meaning of these sites, the actual adult film industry. If you look at the deeper meaning of this, it really affects children. Okay? I can't get into it because it's YouTube. I will get in trouble if I say too much. But it does affect kids. Let's be real. Those of you who are sex workers, the majority of women, whether you think that affects you or not, it does, because you're participating in this BS. You're participating in this, okay? Especially OnlyFans, okay? If you are participating in that, you are part of the problem as to why these kids go missing, as to why these kids are tortured. And I will talk specifically in detail more into this in my video tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be up at 7 a.m. But I feel like a lot of women self-destruct. We do. What is the number one killer in women? It's not heart disease. The number one killer in women is self-esteem. The number one killer in men, loneliness. Okay? It's not the diseases. It's the mental state. It's the mentality that gets to you. Your brain is first. Your body is second. Okay? It's just that nobody takes care of themselves. That's all it is. And I understand that there is a lot of issues when it comes to the trans movements. There is I'm not going to lie, there is people or individuals that are taking advantage. Not all of them do it, but there are individuals that take advantage and do hurt kids. Again, I can't say specifics. If you want to go look into that, go ahead. Well, if you want to be angry and pissed off, go look at it. But don't say I didn't warn you, because it's a lot of horrible things happening right now when it comes to kids. Okay? I just don't want it to get to the point where people are losing sight of what's really going on, or have a deeper look into things rather than just judging it and running with the herd and being a follower and not thinking for yourself. That's really all where I am coming from. If you want to come at with me with pitchforks, by all means, I can take it. Okay? It is what it is. There's only so much I can do. Really only so much I can do. So I feel like a lot of individuals just lose sight of what's really going on, or don't look into the deeper picture. But to be honest with you, if you are a sex worker and you're doing it for men or just to use men, because a lot of you do use men for their money. A real man isn't into this. A real man wants a woman that he can be with. Because this industry is a lot like, I compare it to football. I compare it to the NFL. What does the NFL stand for? Not for long. That's the type of industry that this is when it comes to the adult film stars. It is what it is. They exploit more kids than anything when it comes to this industry, and then they exploit more young women that are 18, 19, 20. And you're just dragged through the mud. You're just processed meat, you know. And if you don't believe me, look it up. Like there are actual documentaries on this. But yeah, I just think this whole Mulvayne thing is getting it's getting to the point where people are losing their minds, and we have bigger things to worry about when it comes to the gay agendas. Okay. I feel like I'm not even going to play the video because I feel like it's going to be offensive. It's going to be triggering. It's going to be, I was going to, but like now that I think about it, the way that this individual put it that was reporting on it, like I can't stand that. Like I can't stand when you got so many people on one opposing side throwing out their venom, and then you got the opposite that believes in something different. They're pushing their venom, and what are we really doing? Where are we going with this? There's no actual end results. We're just going at it with each other, and nothing's getting resolved, obviously, and more people are getting hurt, including children. Okay, whether it's the trans community getting, Cade, I can't say the word. And being dismembered. I can say the same thing for kids. Nothing's getting done. We have to have a real conversation, not screaming matches. These are actual adults having screaming matches, don't know how to communicate. They're acting like YouTubers. You can't communicate. I need everybody to get it together. How are we supposed to find a solution if we can't even talk without everybody going off and acting a damn fool, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I'm missing. I'm going through my stuff right now. Am I missing anything else? No. I don't think so. Okay. I want to do it's like a music segment, and I can only do like if you guys want me to do this, like more of this, like having you guys listen to like artists that maybe you haven't even heard of or given a chance. If you are someone who has an open mind when it comes to music, and I know that a lot of you are going to be like, oh well, you're deaf, what do you know about music? Again, the ignorance. But I think that I think that a lot of you guys just, I don't know. I think that we need to find different things to be open to and have some type of, some type of outlet. And I did get permission from this artist. They reached out to me on Twitter to listen to their music, and I'm pretty open on everything. For those of you who don't realize, if you do want to send stuff, it has to be an independent person. Like it has to be an independent label, or that artist has to actually own their music. Okay, they have to own it, because if they don't own it and it's licensed and they have a label, I can't play it. I will get in trouble. I will like literally lose the stream. Okay. I won't lose my channel, but I'll get a strike and I'll lose the stream. Okay. That's what I don't want. That's what I want to avoid, because there's been a lot of that going on, because people are making mistakes, and then according to them, YouTube isn't telling them what they're doing or what they're, again, this is from their perspective, not mine, but they feel like YouTube isn't being specific as to what is what, and people are just getting strikes left and right. So I want to reiterate that if you guys want to send me stuff that you think that the audience might like, then just let me know. Okay, so I am into a lot of different things. The only thing that I can't listen to, it's like piercing to my ears, and it's just annoying after a certain point. But sorry, I feel like I got a hair on my face. But I can't listen to, like, two things I can't listen to. I can't listen to bluegrass. I don't know, something about that instrument, that I can't do it. And then I can't listen to opera. And I know that it's pretty, and it sounds pretty, but not only can I not understand what they're saying, it feels like I'm bleeding from the ears, because it's extremely high pitched. Like if you've ever heard anybody that can basically, like if you guys know music and you can hear somebody that does E flat, it'll break a glass. That's how high pitched the frequency is that person can go in their range of their voice. It hurts for someone that's going deaf and is sensitive. When it comes to certain tones and certain decibels, it hurts for me. So I can't do opera. As gorgeous as it sounds, I can't do it. So that's like the only thing I can't listen to, which is crazy if you think about it, because I did sing for the symphony. I did sing for the symphony orchestra in one of the big cities for a while, and the director felt like I had a really, really incredible voice, and I did that for a bit, and you would think that it wouldn't bother me, but it did. But opera is a totally different, it's just a whole other ball game. It's just like a whole different scenario. But let me get into it before I let you guys go. And we can do this. I just have to block these bots, and that's that I put it on slow mode, so I'm gonna have to raise that again, unfortunately. I had it 30 seconds, but I not able to do that. So let me play this music before I close out the stream. And the name of the band is Universal Theory. And if you are someone who is into metal, then this would be something to listen to. And I'm not gonna put in. I don't want to put in who they're like compared to, because let me talk about this. I can't stand, and this is just me, I can't stand when other people are like other bands and musicians are compared to other people, because it might not be the case. You know what I'm saying? I remember I was really into like hard rock back in 2000, and I was listening to Limp Bizkit at first. I listened to Stained. It was like the first couple of bands that I liked. I was like 11, 12-ish. And I remember when Linkin Park came out. And this was before I went into the music store. For those of you who don't realize, back in the day, we had to like literally go to the CD store and check out our CDs. We weren't able to like, it's not like how it is now where you can actually listen to the album and see if you like it. No, you had to buy the CD. If you like the artist, you had to go out and buy the CD, even if you didn't like all the songs. So I remember my sibling said, "Oh, well, you don't want to listen to Linkin Park," and I'm like, "Why?" Well, because they sound just like Limp Bizkit, and I'm like, "Okay, like just because you don't want me to listen to it because you don't want to listen to it doesn't mean that that's going to happen, right?" So I bought the CD. I bought the first CD, which is Hybrid Theory, and I honestly liked their sound better than Limp Bizkit, because Chester Bennington was ahead of his time when it came to the vocals. Like he really had a range, when he with the many albums that they did before his passing. Like he was such an incredible vocalist. And I just was like irritated, and I'm like, they don't sound like anything like Limp Bizkit. Like what in the world was she? You know what I mean? But I just kind of figured it was, them wanting to control me in that aspect, and I wasn't allowing it. So that's why I don't like, when it comes to artists and bands, I don't like comparing them to other people, because I don't believe in doing that to them. Like they're their own individual. They have their gift for music, and I'm not going to bash them. I'm not going to I'm not going to do that. I want people to have their opinion for themselves rather than just insulting them. You know what I'm saying? Because music is a lot. It takes a lot to put your heart and soul into this, you know. So let me play the song "Maybe" by Universal Theory. And I know for a lot of you, you're probably thinking, uh, that's not metal. It comes in many different forms. As far as metal, I know a lot of people just think of the screaming aspect and think that, you know, it sounds like uh, basically non-human. But that's not all that metal has to be. You know what I'm saying? But I will leave this to play, and then I'm gonna let you guys go. And if you guys have any other artists that you want me to listen to that I can reach out to, um, they are, you know, somewhat new, and they are from, I believe it's Italy. If I'm not mistaken, Italy or Germany. Let me look into that. I don't want to give you guys the wrong info. It does, you know what I mean? I don't want to disrespect them in that aspect. So let me go into this. But yeah, I mean, you can't tell me that that's not like a really pretty song. And I think that the balance between the male singer that's like a really, really low tone bass, and then you add you know, the high pitched soprano, the female singer, it's a very delicate balance, and I really like that. Some of the songs are going to be a little more like hardcore. Some of the songs are going to be a little more intense for some of you. But just thought I would give you guys maybe something different that you might be interested in, or something that you just you know, maybe not haven't thought of yet. Okay, I am looking at the. Oh my gosh, I was way off. They are from Madrid, España, so Spain. Okay, I was way off. But I will let you guys go, and I hope everyone's having a good day. I hope that you guys are going to have a safe Halloween if you guys are doing something. So please be safe out there, and please, for heaven's sake, be aware of like your children and watch out for your kids. Okay. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you guys soon. And, you know, be on the lookout for my next video. That'll be tomorrow. And that's going to be an intense one as well. So just be on the lookout for that. All right. Love you guys. Bye.